Hello, my lovely friends, and welcome back to the Classy Kiwi Show. Today, I'm going to be going over this really great medieval-themed survival base. This is awesome for your survival worlds because all of the resources are pretty easy to get early on with a lot of woods and stones, unlike some of my past tutorials which have been more resource intensive. I will have a materials list in the description, but it will be slightly off because some of the texturing that we will use requires a bit of randomization, so it is an estimation, but it will get you in the general area that you need to be. So without further ado, let us drop the shaders and get straight into the build. So to start out, we are going to inscribe a nice shape into the ground. So this is going to be two rectangles, and I will stop it right here so you can get the dimensions down. Quickly jot these down and inscribe this into the ground. From there, we are going to move down, and in each and every one of our corners, we are going to build up a pillar 6 blocks high with stripped spruce logs. So 6 blocks off the ground in every one of these corners for our two rectangles next to each other. We are going to build 6 blocks off of the ground with spruce. And the theme for this build is a lot of spruce, sandstone, and regular stone. So coming around on the smaller rectangle, we are going to put around just 1 block high a base of stone brick blocks with a few cobblestone blocks just to texture it a bit. This is where the randomness that I talked about comes in. Moving on to the bigger rectangle, we're going to do the same thing but 2 blocks off the ground this time. Not 1 block up, 2 blocks up, just around the bigger rectangle. Again, bring this up, and the texturing is very important with the cobblestone. It really does make a big difference in the end when you put the entire build together. So moving from here, once we have our outlining around the base finished, we're going to outline the top with more stripped spruce logs. So this is going to come just in between the pillars that we've already put on. It's again just 6 blocks off the ground in between what we've already built up. The only place this changes is on the back and front of the bigger rectangle when it comes out 1 block further. Just look at what I'm doing and do the same thing. It's very important that you bring it back 1 block further. Then on the side, it connects right in between, but then moving back to the front, again, it comes out just 1 block further. It is important that you get that down. From here, we're going to start filling in the walls. So we're just going to fill up with some stripped spruce logs, and the spacing in between these are going to be 2 blocks, and in between push back 1 block, we're going to put in some smooth sandstone. We then can texture this smooth sandstone with just some regular sandstone blocks. Then just to add a bit more depth into the corners, we can round it off with some spruce stairs, and along the base we can put down some stone brick stairs. We'll do the same thing onto the other side with just the 2 spaces spaced 2 blocks apart. Moving on from here, we will round these off. Then moving on to the back. The spacing of this back will be slightly different. So if we look at it, there will be 2 blocks in between the spruce pillars on each edge, but 3 blocks in the middle because it is slightly larger. Using this, we can use some slightly different designs in here, where we're just going to use some more stripped spruce blocks in the 2 block gaps that we have on the sides like I have, and in the middle we will just completely round it off, then add in a little plus-shaped window. Moving from here, we will come onto the side. So on the side, the spacing again here will be pretty different. There will be 3 blocks in between on the left and right, and in the middle there will be a 6 block gap of our smooth sandstone like earlier, but this time 6 blocks. Again, texturing is very important in this build just to add more into what you are doing. From here we can round off the sides, and in the very middle we can add in a nice little pattern just with more stripped spruce blocks. This time the windows are just a line up, not too different, but a small difference. So from here, moving on to the front of the build, we're going to do it pretty similar to the back. Again, the same spacing of 2 blocks to each side. And then in the middle though, we're going to do a slightly different design, although it is pretty similar altogether. So we'll come through here and texture the whole thing, and we will add in the same plus window. Again, just doing a very similar thing, adding in some smooth sandstone and some sandstone blocks. Then on this side, we will add in some more smooth sandstone. This time they're just spaced 2 blocks on either side of the spruce pillar, and then some more spruce stairs just to round it off. Then moving to the very front, we'll do a nice little easy design to the right, and to the left we will do our entrance. This you can either build the staircase one extra block out, or you can just build it right up flush. I went for it being flush. But then in there, I actually like putting in the door a block into the house. So you'll see I'll actually put it in an extra block. From here, I'm going to use red wool as a block that I will destroy. So whenever I use red wool in this tutorial, that's a block that we're just placing on and will get immediately destroyed afterwards. So we're going to outline the top of the small rectangle with the red wool. Then on top of that, we will outline with some stone brick stairs. These will just come nicely around. Then around the bottom, we will come 2 stairs, then we'll curl it up with a slab, then 2 slabs, a slab, then some stairs curling around. There will be 1 stair on the edge. Then after 1 stair, we'll curl it up again. Watch over this a couple times if it's a bit confusing, the pattern that I'm doing, but it's not too bad, and the red behind it provides a bit of contrast that you might be able to use to understand what I am doing here a bit better, just doing the same thing along the back side. Then following this, like I said, we'll destroy the red wool, and you don't have to use red wool, dirt would be fine here. And then I put a few lanterns around the base. Moving from here, we're going to start building up the second floor. So these spruce wood pillars that I'm showing are 5 blocks off of the previous floor this time, and the spacing is 3 blocks to the left and 2 blocks to the right of what you're looking at. Then we're just going to put in some simple patterns, as you see I will be doing here in a second. Just copy down these as I am doing them, with a nice window to the left with some extra space that we have. Moving from here, we can move on to the front of the face. And remember, this front of the face is pushed a block out farther than the first floor. There will be 4 blocks to the left and right this time, just 2 little panels that we're working with, and we're going to do just a nice little window in both of these. I'm going to put a planter in each of these, as you'll see here in a second. These planters, I just like to use grass and sweet berries because they go with the theme of this house. You can go with a different plant, some flowers if you like, but I like the way that these look. I also use some fence gates up along the top to frame it a bit more. From here, again, we can just add in the flowers, and along the top, we can push it out a bit more with some extra stripped spruce logs and some buns on top of those, and a stair that we'll come back to later. Moving on to the side, this should not be too complicated, however the spacing is a bit weird. The spacing in the middle is 4 blocks, and to the right and left it is 5 blocks. So again, 5 blocks to the right, 5 blocks to the left for these panels, then 4 blocks in the middle. I'm going to add planters in to the left and right side, and you can see here I'm using this cool design with some stairs along the top just to add some more depth in to the left and soon to the right. And then just a nice window in the middle, nothing too fancy right there. So following this, we'll move on to the back, and the back will be pretty similar to the front. We will just frame it again, and remember all of this is just 5 blocks up. These spruce pillars that I'm putting in are 5 blocks off of the kind of top of the first floor. From here, again, more texturing, as important as I said, just brings it together, especially for this kind of older theme. You want it to look a bit beaten down, and we can use some stairs around here. Again, I'm pushing it out. This is important for the roof, for spacing the roof, and we'll add in some windows. From here, above that little roof piece that we built in, we're going to build out with stripped oak blocks, just to add a bit of variety from the stripped spruce blocks, and this is going to come 2 blocks farther out than the roof that we built. So that's 2 blocks farther out than the previous roof that we built with the stone brick blocks. Look over what I just did a couple times if you need that spacing, and then it's just sitting 1 block inside. Underneath, like I just did, you can add in some fences and some fence gates, and then filling in the base we'll use some oak planks. Down here, you can add in a couple lanterns. These can look nice just to frame it. And then moving along here, we'll add in some stripped oak wood pillars that are 5 blocks high. We'll just add these in spaced 2 blocks apart, again 5 blocks high, these stripped oak wood pillars, kind of just encircling this extra oak piece that we have built onto our bigger spruce building. We can then frame the entire top, just filling in the space in between these pillars with, yes, more stripped oak wood. From here, we can fill in the extra area, just rounding it off with some oak stairs. Just moving through here. Normally, I wouldn't go for keeping an entire box like this in one color palette, but just because of the theme of this whole build and the way that it contrasts with the darker spruce of the rest of the build, it is okay here, in my opinion, to work with this just one color palette. Again, moving around the bottom with some oak fences, kind of making this into a future balcony area. To round it off, we're going to fill this inside area with some stripped spruce wood just coming up 6 blocks off, then just fill in some smooth sandstone and some windows as you like. This is not too important. So the important thing here, if you're looking above, is that there is still a 1 block space between these outer stripped oak logs and this inner wall, just that it can be used as a balcony in our actual build, and it fits the roof we'll later put on it. Again, the actual shape of this wall that you're building in doesn't matter too much as long as you have some nice windows in it to let a little light shine into the room. Moving on from here, you're going to look at these exact dimensions, look carefully at where I'm putting this red wool, and remember that I've pushed this out 1 block. From here, with these 2 red wool pieces, look exactly where they are over a few times because it's very important. We're going to start stacking with some stone brick stairs. So we're going to start with 1 stone brick stair right from there on the red wool, and then we're going to put an upside down stair, then a right side up, so there's 2 stairs coming up. Then from there, we're going to do a block and then a stair. Then we're going to do a block and then another stair. Then we're going to bring it up 2 blocks and then a stair. And then from there, again, we're going to bring it up with another block and then a stair twice for this time. So again, block and a stair up here. Then at the very top, we will just bring it up with 2 blocks, and then we'll curl it up. Watch over what I just did a couple times because it is important that you get it down just as I did. From here, I'm going to time lapse it. We're going to copy the exact same thing onto the other side. So this should be pushed out because of the way that I put down the red wool. From here, we're going to bring it along the edge. Just from that same point, we're going to build out the trim. And notice how I'm alternating right side up and upside down stone brick stairs. This isn't necessary, but I really like the way it looks. Then we're going to do the same thing, just moving this all the way across to the other side of the build. And the important thing here is that they all are alternating, but if you look, there is a 1 gap block between this trim and the stripped spruce wood, and it comes out 1 block further than even that farthest part. Use the red wool again, just like I did the first time if you are confused, but I will time lapse this back. We are doing the exact same shape as the front. No differences here. Again, I'll show you where the red wool looks like, because that part is pretty darn important. It's not completely necessary that you get it exactly like I have, but to get it to look like I have it, it is kind of important to get that red wool there. Then we can just finish off with a couple more stone brick stairs right there. Moving onward, we are going to build up. And so I'm going to go through this slowly, but we're basically going to do a slab, then a full block, then a stair, and then you can just keep watching what I'm doing. But the trick to actually getting this is from that slab, this is the same pattern as our stone bricks right behind it, except it is all pushed down 1 block. So whenever there is a block, that same block is with spruce, but 1 block lower. And whenever there is a stair, that is also repeated with spruce, but 1 block lower. If that doesn't completely make sense to you, you can just repeat what I've done, watch through it slowly. But if you look here, it does kind of make sense that we have just moved down that stone brick pattern to the left, down 1 block to the right with the spruce. From there, again, watch what I do just to get it up once, and then once you have it up once, you can just push it all the way across. This may be a bit tedious, but it actually shouldn't take much longer than 10 minutes. At the most, it took me less because I'm in creative. Then along the top, you can build in a nice little ridge with some more stone brick blocks, just to add some more detail into what you are doing. Then I'm going to time lapse this. We are doing the exact same thing onto the back. Again, no differences, same thing here. So from right here, we're going to add in a couple of windows. These are going to come in, if we're looking up the roof, there's one spot where we have 2 blocks high of spruce. We're going to put it here, and we're going to put it 1, 2, 3 blocks in. So right there, we're going to cut these out again where there's 2 blocks high, and this is going to come up 1, 2, 3, 4. From there, we're just going to put down stair, stair, and then stair. Then we could put a block right here, another block right there, a block on top, then just replace this with a slab. Then we can just round off this little window that we have done, repeating the exact same pattern as to the right, just onto the left side of the window. Then we can just push it back into the wall behind it, or the roof behind it, and then push it up. And then we are just going to copy the exact same kind of ridge pattern that we've done on the right with the stone bricks, just coming up into it. Again, this is the same as the right, just kind of in the middle, 1 block up from the spruce roof. Then we will copy the exact same window to the left. Again, same window, same spacing, 3 blocks from the outer edge. So from right here, we're going to add in a second little roof. So we're going to find our stripped oak wood and build it out twice with our destroyable block. From there, we're going to take our stone brick stairs, put one on the edge, like so, build it up twice just with the stairs. Then we're going to come along with our full blocks and build it up 1, like right here, build it up 1 again, right there. Then one final time, we will build it up 1 block. Then from there, we will just add on a second stair to the top. Now we can just finish off this roof by copying the same thing that I just showed you to the left onto the right. Again, the exact same thing. And then bringing it along the edge using our same alternating upside down and right side up stone brick stairs, except this time they'll be pressed up right against the stripped oak wood beside it. Again, just pushing this across. So from right here, we're going to do the same thing again that we did earlier with this roof, where we build up the whole thing down 1 block. So we're going to put down a slab, then we're going to put down a full block, then notice that we have a stair right here, so we're going to put a stair on top of that, upside down stair, then we're down 1 block, so we'll put down a block, and we'll keep going up like that, stair block, just moving up like we did on the previous. Coming up here, then at the very top we can round it off again with just an extra stair on top. So from here we can finish pushing back this roof, again just copying the same thing that we've put up to the left, just pushing it back into the other roof. You will notice that this slants towards the right because it's pushed all the way in. Again, I'll time lapse it on this side, but we are copying the same pattern, just pushed in from the other side. From here we can put in a little chimney. Doesn't really matter where you put this, I just put it 2 blocks out with some stone brick blocks and a campfire and then some trapdoors. Then we can just fill in this remaining space in between with some spruce planks, breaking the stairs as needed just above the stripped oak logs. So we're going to add in a bit of depth to this by coming in, then tearing out this kind of middle layer, then going up 2, up 2. We can then take just oak planks and fill in the remaining space that is behind there, just pushing this back with our oak. Then on top of that, we can just put down some extra spruce stairs throughout here, just to kind of add in a bit of flavor to what we're doing right here. From here, we're going to put in some more of the windows that are the same as we did on the back of the big roof. The only difference this time is that they're spaced 1 block away from the outer frame, and then the second one that we put in will be spaced only 1 block away from the first, and will not completely fit and will push in to the secondary roof that we put in. Again, just go back and look at the dimensions and the shape of the previous ones, because everything is the same, except we don't frame the bottom this time. Moving over to the empty space on the bigger roof, we'll fill it in just from the center up from that upside down spruce stair with some stripped spruce logs, and then fill in the remaining space with some spruce planks, removing the spruce stairs when needed. So to add a bit of depth to this side, we're going to come in and break these 3 blocks, then break these 2 blocks up twice, then go 1, 2, 3. Then we can just put in some stairs on all of these corners to round things off. To start finishing things off, we'll copy the same little kind of detailing inset piece onto the right side, and then in the back we will fill in with some oak planks, and then we will spin around to the back side and copy down the exact same pattern I just did on the front side. Nothing is different here, so I will time lapse, just copy the exact same thing down, same shape for the inset in here as well. From here, to kind of finish things off, we're going to build in a tower. This will be a square with 3 blocks on each side of the square and a block missing in each corner. As you see, you're just kind of going to put this in the corner where it fits. You can watch where I did, rewind a bit if you need to look exactly where I started, but you don't have to put it exactly where I have. Just build this up. The one kind of important thing is to at least to get it look as I have. Once you reach even with that ridge, build it up 3 blocks farther. So 3 blocks higher than that ridge piece that we have. Then we will texture the whole thing. If you're in survival, it might be helpful to texture as you build it up, just to save yourself a bit of time, but we're just going to add in some cobblestone to bring that variety to this. Then to kind of get that medieval, more castle look that even works in these kind of medium-sized houses, we're going to add in some alternating upper and lower stairs, putting some blocks above it. Then in the corner, we're going to put in 3 slabs, then 1 bottom slab, just to move out the entire kind of square, so that this time now there are 5 blocks on each side of the square with the blocks in the middle missing. Then along the top, we can add in some more ridges with some more stone brick stairs. Now, for the very last thing for the outside of this build, it looks really nice to kind of bring it all together if you add in some leaves kind of as vines. Now, you can add these in wherever. Don't add in too many or might be a bit distracting, but look at where I have as an example. Look at about how many that I have as an example. And the trick here is to kind of have them come out in alternating lines that are kind of sprawling across your roof. Again, these are not just randomly placed on as dots, but they are randomly spread out, sprawling in lines, and you can't even break a bit of the roof to fit. Alright, so now we're on to the interior for this house, but first, just coming around the outside, when you're functionally using this, you're going to want to add in a bit of things just for some atmosphere. So just to give you an idea, I like putting some barrels and maybe some logs through here. This could be kind of a wood storage area, something nice out here. Just extra stuff to do with your room. It's also nice to change up the ground a bit, adding in some path blocks, maybe some mossy cobblestone, or just whatever you like to put around. Also, putting in a little garden right here could look nice. I go over a lot of information in gardening on another one of my videos, but just a nice little garden path patio right here could look nice. Also, little trees like this can look nice, just placing them around your base. Now, as we move on to the interior itself, as we'll look, I just have a first room right here, and I'm filling in a lot of the space between the outside and the inside, kind of the space between the pillars and the wall, just with extra smooth sandstone through here. Go through here, just more kind of filler rooms, just nice stuff, different techniques, kind of a nice little cabinet right here, seats, different plants, just nice things, kind of rounding the whole thing off, splitting it into rooms. Same with here, we can add in some nice little bit more storage, just nice little useful stuff down here. But then as we come up here for more of the functional stuff, we can have a kitchen with some smokers, and then you can put some barrels up above for your foods, and maybe stuff to put different fuels into the smokers, along with some trapdoors. And then coming over here, you can put in a nice little enchanting station. This actually will enchant for 30, this kind of corner one as I have it right here. And because we want this to be a functional base, up here in the kind of attic area, mass storage. Mass storage is really important, and when you see these actual like survival bases, sometimes they don't have this, but this is always necessary. Also, some more smelting, because you'll want a lot of that. And then coming back down, we'll have some more storage just for your enchanting, for lapis and such. Then up here, we can have a nice little bedroom in this kind of more open area. I really like this room as a bedroom. And out here, we have our patio. Then coming up here, this doesn't really serve any purpose, but we can have a nice little outpost, kind of a tower up here that you can climb up to and see down over all of your base and the area around your base, and this just works together very nicely. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the Classy Kiwi Show. Only about 8% of my viewers are subscribed, and each and every single one does make a huge difference to me. With that said, if you think that there are any ways that I can improve my video making, my teaching, or my building, please let me know in the comments so that I can improve myself as a YouTuber. And without further ado, as always, stay classy, my friends. Goodbye.